Hello everyone and welcome back to another book review. Today I am going to be reviewing I Know What I Saw, Modern Day Encounters with Monsters of New Urban Legends and Ancient Lore by Linda Godfrey, who is also the author of American Monsters. So this is what the cover looks like. We have some little creature up here, we have this red text, and then the bottom subtitle down here, and it is about an average size book, I would say. So I gave this a read and we're going to talk today what I feel about it, what's in this book, and if this might be a good book for you to pick up and read next. So this book was a little bit outside my comfort zone. I scare very easily, so I was a little nervous going into this book, reading about modern day encounters with monsters, new urban legends, ancient lore. Is this going to be the kind of book that when I look out my window at night, I'm going to be scared that something's going to be looking back in? So I went ahead, even though I had my doubts, even though I was a little scared, and I gave it a read, and it was quite interesting. I'm going to start this review by saying I am not going to provide my personal opinion on the veracity of any of the claims made in this book, but I'm going to leave that open to each individual reader because I think every reader is going to fall somewhere different. So this book, written by Linda Godfrey, is based around a collection of first-hand accounts that the author has collected throughout her years. She definitely falls on the spectrum of believing that there are things in the world that cannot be explained by modern zoology, biology, creatures that we haven't encountered or explored, and she's quite open to this idea. I get the feeling from reading this book that she has some sort of radio program, and she has had a website in the past where she has collected claims from various people throughout mostly the United States, but also other places that believe they have had encounters with creatures, animals, things like Bigfoot or dogmen, or things that other people believe they have seen and haven't had a satisfactory explanation from the authorities on what they have seen. The author, Linda Godfrey, collects these and talks with people, and I don't know what her radio program is about, but I guess just discussing these myths, these urban legends, and things that fall under the ancient lores, hence the subtitle, and she has decided to put them together in this book. So this book is a collection of first-hand accounts. The collections are kind of loosely grouped by chapters, and each chapter seems to focus on one particular story or one particular monster or type of monster. So we have those deer people, that's chapter 3, which are these deer-like things that seem to stand on 2 legs. Chapter 9 is all about dire dogs, and then there's all these subsections that you can see beneath it. So within each chapter, there's subsections which discuss different people's personal opinions, thoughts, or firsthand experiences with these animals. So this book, Linda Godfrey doesn't make any attempt to do any analysis on the claims that come in. She does a little bit of commentary, but the author is really just taking all of these claims that she believes to kind of be the best representation of each of the chapters that she discusses and puts those claims together in one book for your reading ability. She links these first-hand accounts together by topic or with a little commentary saying maybe the monster that this person claims to have saw in this area relates to the monster that this person thinks they saw in this area. And all of those link together into a book. As mentioned before, I do think Linda Godfrey falls on the side of the fence that believes that these things are real and there are things that that have not been acknowledged or proven by modern biology, zoology, the government, and she likes to believe this. So I think she takes quite a open view of all of the first-hand accounts that come in. I know many readers are going to be a lot more critical of the accounts that come in and may have differing opinions on where each first-hand account falls. The author did seem to do a little bit of sifting throughout the accounts that she saw, and she seems to have only pulled ones where she personally believes there is enough proof, but I'm going to leave it up to each reader to decide each first-hand account whether or not they believe it's one that's true, or if maybe there was some other explanation for what the person saw. Again, I feel like this book can be highly polarizing because ultimately we're just dealing with a first-hand account, someone who said, I think I saw this in the cornfield behind my house and I don't have an explanation for it. So there really is no debating what that person saw, in the sense that I can't say that you didn't see what you think you saw, but I think each individual reader is going to reach a different conclusion on whether or not what they saw was just a large wolf or something that was maybe more mystical or fantastical. I think each claim made in the book, each first-hand account made in the book, different readers are going to find different levels of believability throughout each personal account. So despite this book being not really within my comfort zone, I would say some of the tales were interesting. I, of course, took each tale as its own separate story, which is kind of going to interrupt the flow if you like a solid, cohesive narrative. The author, again, does have a little commentary to stitch each of these first-hand accounts together, but mostly she's just taking as written the accounts that she receives via email or with interviews with individuals and placing them in this book one right after the other. So you as the reader aren't getting a nice analysis or commentary between them, but you're just reading them. However, I think that this, which could kind of be a choppy, mixed up approach, might actually work for a book like this, because with less commentary and less analysis, it leaves room for the reader to reach their own conclusions. A reader reading this book can look at this book and say, I don't believe this person's tale, this person's tale, this person's tale, or maybe there's a whole group of monsters that some reader out there wants to read more about, or maybe some of these encounters a personal reader doesn't believe actually occurred, but some encounters a reader believes does occur, and that leaves the reader down to just the first-hand accounts, which they can analyze at their own pace. Again, I don't want to get into which claims I'm going to be debunking or saying, like, I don't believe these happened or I don't think these claims are real. I think this is the kind of book that the opinion on whether this falls into more fiction, fantasy, fun little legends to read around the campfire, or if this is something you truly believe, that's going to be up to each individual reader. But the author has done a bit of work compiling all these first-hand accounts, which I think is going to be interesting for a wide variety of readers. Whether you just want to have some scary stories to read around the campfire, you don't really think any of these people saw what they think they saw, and you just want to read these and maybe scare some people at your next camp outing, or if you really do believe some of this stuff is real and you would like to explore it more, then getting the first-hand accounts from I Know What I Saw might be really interesting to you. Again, that's just going to be up to each individual person, and I don't want to get into a debate about what is right and what is wrong in this particular sense. It was an interesting book. It was a little spooky for me. I do have to say, I really get in my head about these things quite a lot. So I was a little spooked while reading this, but it wasn't too bad. Nothing in here is too gory. Nothing in here is really super not family friendly or appropriate. The author keeps everything kind of tame, and the stories she selects aren't too graphic. So I think this is something that even a teenager could easily read without any worries. And overall, I do like the work that the author did to collect all these stories that she has collected throughout the years and put it together in a book that is for all readers. For anyone who has interest in this topic, I think the author did a really good job pulling this stuff together, and I'm glad that she did the work. If you have any interest in modern-day encounters with monsters of new urban legends or ancient lore, as the subtitle says, then I Know What I Saw by Linda Godfrey might be an interesting book to you. I will leave the veracity of these tales up to you, whether you believe them or not, but it could be something interesting to read and check out if you're looking for a book to read that falls in this category. If you have any thoughts or comments on this, or if you have any books similar to this that you think I should read or that would complement this book that I've read very, very well, please leave it in the comment section below. I'd love to receive your comments. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.